Welcome to the Wickedly Smart Women podcast, featuring stellar conversations with emerging and established wickedly smart women. Thanks for joining us today as we celebrate women who are committed, care deeply, and have the courage to take action and create conscious change all around the world. Now here's your wickedly smart host, Anjel B. Hartwell.
Welcome to another episode of the Wickedly Smart Women podcast, where we celebrate wickedly smart women and provide our listeners with a wealth of wisdom along with immediately actionable steps to be smarter, spunkier, and more successful in their impact and their leadership. This is your host, Anjel B. Hartwell, and today we welcome our special guest, Meilin Ehlke. Writers, speakers, and entrepreneurs hire Meilin to create infinite momentum because most feel confused, misunderstood, and alone. So she helps them to get clarity on their purpose, to confidently act from grandness as they deliver their mission's message with passion and masterful precision to the world. They then stand radiantly in life as on stage. Meilin reaches a worldwide audience on her online radio show, Sacred Sound Surprises, and her podcast, Moving to Oneness. And I have had the distinct pleasure of being in Meilin's presence in person as well as virtually for many years. Once upon a time, she was a client of mine. Once upon a time, we were at a retreat together where we both made presentations, and she brought some of her Sacred Sound Surprises to that event. And so it's just such a delight and a pleasure to see you here, Meilin, and I am just so grateful you're here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me and to share this moment with you and your magical audience.
Well, we are really excited about what you are here to do. And, one of the things that I feel I really want to presence for people, because you and I did work together a while ago, is you actually are now standing radiantly in life as on the stage. So what that says to me is that you are role modeling and you are actually embodying yourself, how you are here to lead and how you are here to help other people to step into their own leadership. And so I'd love to have you speak a little bit about the journey it took for you to get here to the place where you are actually radiantly standing in your life.
This is something that was very, very important for me on my whole journey. As a young child, I always felt truth. Or better said, what was not true, what I would hear people say and observe and how they acted. And when I grew up, you repeatedly see, I've traveled around the world, lived in many countries, and there was a repetition, and I couldn't find a lot of people I could fully connect to be me. And that was an urge I wanted. And yes, I had read it, that people like this were existing. And then I said, I would love them to come into my life so I don't have to run the whole time or go and search them. And I think you even pointed that out one day, because for once there was a time I said, I'm a wisdom seeker. And then suddenly I noticed I don't have to seek the wisdom anymore. I have suddenly found those people. I don't know if everyone read maybe Aragon, but in that book, it was written about the elf that was 1,000 years old and was able, with his awareness, to sense everything above and below him. And I said, I want that. I want to live for this long time. And I want to be able to sit on the ground and feel the worms travel under me as well. I want to feel the birds fly above me. Yeah. So this was something within that never gave me a little rest. And then the last few years, all these people like you, and that was Amethyst Emerald and now Anjel. In my life, being also these different women you were, as I was always a different woman on my journey, right when we unfold, or I unfolded more and more of my essence of remembering who I am and what makes me thrive, what makes me move, what makes me smile and connect with everything around me. So, and then also I remember when it was going more into the business, in my back of my mind, as I wanted to walk my talk. This was important, and not just walk it, I wanted to be the woman of knowledge. And in old wisdom, I have met now people that really carry their knowledge and express it in every second. And that's a wish I have now for many people to experience this feeling, this calmness, this peacefulness within when you do that.
Yeah, I love that. So one of the things that I just really want to presence that you are here to both embody and role model, and what you just spoke to a little bit about, is this idea of, first of all, that when you were a child, you were already tuned in, right? You were already tuned in, and you could perceive the not truths. You could perceive the kind of societal conditioning, the familial conditioning, the educational conditioning that had wrapped people up around you in the veils of untruth, right? Mm-hmm. And you could spot that and you could recognize that. But the other piece that I just really want to presence here is this idea of when we are actualizing our own truth, and we're fully embodying our own truth, that you and I and many of the wickedly smart women who are on this show and who are listening, we actually become authentic creators of our own reality in such a way that we are able to contribute our gifts and be compensated for our gifts, even if our gifts seem very esoteric, even if our gifts seem very, for what lack of a better word, woo-woo, right? Even if our gifts seem very, maybe even cutting edge or beyond the cutting edge, maybe futuristic gifts. And that's one of the things that you bring to the table, is you actually bring in the gift of sound, which was, also one of my gifts. So I'd love to have you talk a little bit about the courage that it took for you to shed any conditioning that you had that kept you kind of veiled, number one, and the courage to invest in yourself to get the support to help you peel that away, and also to help you nourish yourself so that you could express yourself more fully.
Yeah. So one thing that comes right away, you were speaking about, we call ourselves as we're labeled esoteric or woo-woo, and I think it's something to make us weaker or to be seen as a weak link. It is really our natural state. Everyone is able to be tuned in to everything, because I think our humans, we are not alert enough. The whole world, the animals, the trees, right? There's a very shamanic view. They're connected to the cosmos. They sing this choir, this chorus. And we had, in a way, fallen out. We have lost to trust ourselves. So when I did invest, or go back to the desire I spoke before, there's such a desire inside. And suddenly I'm led to a person, the person comes into my life. I fully know this is what I have to do and to invest. And I can sense it. And often it has been a bigger step in my life than I could take. Or that, oh my God, right? Or what I'm getting into, if it's you or if it's with the shaman. And I knew that I cannot not do it. There is something deep. And I invite everyone to make this distinction. If whatever you see out there, where you led to it, that you suddenly see this, is your whole body moved to it? If it's a piece of, I even say clothing, or a person, a website. It's all medicine for you, as it was medicine for us. If you even go shopping, as we're talking so much about women, right? There comes this point where I don't have to look anymore. Suddenly the day comes, okay, I have to go shopping. Then I go shopping because certain things I needed, I envision it, and I go into store and the body gets moved. It becomes very efficient. You just grab it, it's done. And the piece I know, or the teacher I find, or the program we buy nowadays, right? You just know it's there. And sometimes, and you said that sentence, I never forgot it, Anjel, is sometimes we only have to hear out of a course a certain sentence. And that's it. So, yeah. So trust yourself that there is a nugget, there is something that catapults you forward.
Beautiful. I love that. Yes. And I actually, brief story. I got inspired. Like I call this the know sale, KNOW. Like I just know. And you're describing it perfectly and exactly. I just know. And it doesn't matter what it says on the bank balance. It doesn't matter. I just know. So 2 examples. When I was inspired at one point to invest $10,000 in a mentor, and it was somebody who I had already done many of the things that this person was doing, and I had already acquired all of kind of like the tactical stuff from this person, that this person was offering. And I kept asking, I actually started questioning my guidance at that point. I was like, why am I investing? But even though I questioned, I can't argue with the knowing, right?
No, you can't.
I know it, and I'm going to do it, and I might have some questions about it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I just know and I must do it. And literally it was one 15-minute conversation with somebody who was on her team. It wasn't even her. I had a 15-minute conversation that was worth the entire $10,000 investment. So I love that you presenced that. The other time was when we went to Costa Rica. When we went to Costa Rica, I knew so strongly on that journey that I said to the host, if I have to crawl there on my hands and knees, I will be there. It doesn't matter. I must be there. And so I love that you presence that yourself. And then
on that trip, it was so
that.
funny on that trip because I was sitting here in Germany and I was saying, no, taking husband along and my son, he was 4 at that time. But then there was too much, too expensive. And my husband said no. And I said to my husband, I remember that day, if I have to be there, knowing I have to be there, things will change and I'll be able to be there. And that's happened. I think the prices suddenly for the planes dipped, the retreat, everything dipped. So it made it so clear that I could not find an excuse. And you were pointing this out a second ago. Since sometimes it comes from the outside or the thought patterns we pick up from others. So we try to tell ourselves no because we have to grow. Or I had same experience to grow in this more grand person being that we really are. So the conditioning that we had from the social setting to dissolve that, and you pointed that out at the beginning or asked me, we create our reality, yes, and shamanically we can really set, and everyone can use this, right? So we set a vision, we set an intention, even intent before creation, but sometimes, and at the beginning or more often I would say, we have to also at the same time decrease or dissolve a reality that needs a lot of time, strength, and energy. And I invite everyone, sometimes it takes a lot of strength and maybe you get tired from it because it's really hard work, but to go that extra mile. Don't be afraid of it. Take that courage and say, okay, I said this, but all these other things have to dissolve, or all these environmental things around me or people around me also need a certain transition. So when I said I go, I let myself be pulled by my vision. And others, I take my time because I know nowadays, I had to learn, the other way too. I loved is when I was younger, run with my head through the wall. But now I just wait. And I say, okay, I set the intention, I wait, everything unravels around me so that suddenly there is the condition and less density to create with ease and a lightness. We talk often so about the lightness. So this is the lightness. If there's less density, you can move easier. Yeah, you can expand and you can feel it throughout your body. The whole body shifts, your shoulders fall back and the breast comes out, and we have a little swagger in our walk. It's not so military anymore. Well, we become more not feminine. I don't want to say it, but we walk
supple.
Different than men. We're built different. So why don't we also walk different than men do?
Yeah. Supple is the word that just came. Well, we have to take our break now. It happens so quickly. The word that just came, though, about walking supplely, like with suppleness. Yeah. So we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to let you know how you can meet with Meilin and find out more about how she helps people. And perhaps she is the big yes for you to invest in working with her. But right now, I want to let you know that we would love to have your help. If you are enjoying this show and want us to stay on the air, please consider making a donation at www.wickedlysmartwomen.com. I want to thank Susanna Stoika, who just recently made a donation. Thank you so much for that contribution to our production. We also are really excited to let you know, if you are interested in starting a podcast yourself, that you can reach out to me through startapodcastnow.com for a conversation, because Wickedly Smart Women is a #1 internationally known podcast. We are a finalist for a podcast award in the People's Choice under business, and I can help you to learn how to rank and make bank. So just go to startapodcastnow.com and apply for a conversation with me if that is of interest to you. I do want to thank all of our listeners who are downloading, rating, and reviewing. We are welcoming thousands of downloads from all over the world in 48 countries now. I want to shout out this week to our listeners in Germany, and we will be right back with Meilin Ehlke.
The Wickedly Smart Women podcast is brought to you by the Wealthy Life Mentor. Women, are you on the edge knowing that life is calling you to make a change? Are you ready to be part of the evolution of what it means to be a wickedly smart woman, creating your wealthy life by design? A life that is an extraordinary work of art. Anjel B. Hartwell, the Wealthy Life Mentor, is hired by women in transition. Women just like you who want to break through to their brilliance, become clear on the value of their wisdom, and embody a beauty-filled, balanced life of shameless self-expression. Discover your wealthy life readiness by taking the quiz at quiz.wealthylifementor.com.
And we are back with our special guest, Meilin. You can find out more about Meilin and how she works with people by going to meetmeilin.com. We will have that in the show notes. That's meetmeilin.com. And Meilin, I want to talk to you about some of your business journey, because you have definitely been on a business journey for the last 6 years.
I still am.
And still are, including having your own podcast, including having your own radio show. But more importantly, what I want to talk about with your journey is you are somebody who uses sound. And I am also a sound practitioner, sound therapist. And when I speak, every time I speak, I have set the intention that what's coming out of my mouth, whether it's sounds or whether it's words or, whatever is coming out of my throat chakra, it's intended to be awakening and activating and healing. So your business has largely been based upon you getting your message out into the world. And so now, as far as from what I understand, you are helping other messengers to do the same and to express their message and their sound into the world. So can you talk a little bit about maybe some of your business journey and some of the clients that you've been working with and what's been happening for them as a result of their work with you?
Yeah, so in the time I'm figuring out or learning about how I function or what drives me in life, right? Through healing my own body or going the shamanic route or the light workers, right? I got connected with a lot of people. I have to say, for you, it is how you are. I don't even think you even have to set the intention. Your whole being is whatever you spoke about. You cannot not do it, right? So this intention is really your purpose in a way. And for me, I've learned my purpose is the beauty. And I remember many years ago to see the beauty within me and I see it in others. And I couldn't grasp it. It was so natural, right? I was landscape architect. I like to paint and I'm very multifaceted. I love the tactile, the softer a fabric is, right? Everything design that has been made with love and craftiness, right? This is something really beautiful to me. So this is what was attracting me to it, or even a chair or a table or a person in clothes and all these things. So it is in a way I had to rediscover, and at the time it was maybe difficult because beauty, when I said that word, it was more for the beauty industry. Yeah, what kind of cream or makeup do you put on your face? And there was really labeling. But over time, I noticed how difficult it was for especially women to hear when you said you're beautiful. And then I think I was taken by that and I quieted up. I didn't speak about that for a while. That often happens to me. If I really sense what's going on, I have to digest it in a way. And then I was very shy for most of teenager from 6, I think, to 25. I didn't speak much. And I'm surprised now that I love to speak. And then I learned also that I'm a channel, that I can speak within a sentence. I'm different beings as a physical channel and bring this information, the healing information through my words. Also that my body moves the whole time. So the energy that comes through the motions and the hand and you is very similar. Probably for sure I had to find a teacher who was already living those parts because, Anjel, you're always a trendsetter. You said that you're always way ahead and you're leading the path. And for many, again, even in podcasting, right, you sold your podcast, your first one. Someone has to follow that. Yeah, but you're the one who takes the machete and goes through the jungle and cuts everything apart. You do the work so others can walk every time with more ease. At one person and two, and then a whole crowd, right? And then suddenly they in their big dresses like Louis XIV, we walk and stroll instead of having to climb over things to get somewhere. This is what you create and provide for many of us. So, and then I looked at myself and I learned, what am I doing well that is so natural for me? And so this is what I want to give back to people, because why did I learn this or why did I have this? Because this is really my essence. So that I can speak on podcasts, I've done the radio show, and I can be in the moment. And I've learned by observing or listening to what people told me that it's hard for them to be a moment, they can't plan, they're shy, and said, why was it not for me? So why did I adventure out? And I remember the first time I stayed on stage, I paid for it. But then even when I was there, I wanted to do it Meilin style, right? And I sang in the first moment, and then I explained what I'm all about. And I have cerebral palsy. So if someone has to be afraid of being seen, it really has been me being looked at since I'm a little child, because I move through the world differently. But I've always been me. So this is the gift I want to be provide with others, embodying the knowledge, but also how you move through the world and how comfortable you are in your own skin. I think that's an English expression. How comfortably are you within, and how lovely can you touch yourself? And then the confidence of your voice, using your voice and speaking out the words. It's not always easy. Still, I have things I want to say and I'm not speaking about enough, but it's coming, right? Mm-hmm. Even in Costa Rica, I know it's also, why do I have to see my beauty and feel it and express it so I can see it in you better and understand you better, Anjel, or any other person I meet? And so that we treat then the whole planet different. Mm-hmm. So this is really the big goal that is also within me. And then you asked me, who are my clients? They're all multifaceted. And they always had their connection to spirit. Maybe they didn't live it, or they tried to quiet it down because they grew up in an environment where they ridiculed and no one understood it, even maybe parents or friends. And so they put it quietly, like me, this way, right? I became quiet then. Even in my body, I became skinny and tight. I had to learn again to become soft, movable and touchable. Yeah, genau. You can't see me because we're on a podcast, but everyone, you can feel it. I love to move my body all day long, every moment. And so people come, and the fastest way I've learned without speaking, because in so many words, there are restrictions we put on ourselves when we hear them, or through experiences or traumas, we have created a certain understanding. And when the sounds come, I can surpass that. And they help people to remember who they are. It helps you to remember. It helped me to remember. There come visions, there answers, whatever kind of being you are, how you connect to yourself and your source. That gets highlighted, God, and then people can write again, or it's different. It's people can paint. I had people come to me, I can write songs. I hung up the phone and I could write a song again. The other one said, I'm stuck in my business plan. Please send me a song. And I recorded a song and sent it to her. And by the next day, she had a deadline. She had finished her business plan. But then also Anders said there was a woman who was desired to get pregnant. And I sensed something. She just knew she had to come to me. Most of my clients know they have to come. I don't even have to tell them. She said, you have something for me. And then I had a little channel and a song. And
Beautiful. I love that.
Girl.
Well, my darling, we are at the end, and I definitely know, though, that you and I and many like us are here to be in a world and create a world where the people that we're meant to work with, they just automatically know, and they come to us, and we have a fair and beautiful exchange, and we facilitate and support each other in our growth and in our divine mission of being here on this planet. And so thank you for being somebody who is so fully embodying your gift. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Listeners, we do love feedback. Please let us know what you thought of today's show by calling into our listener line. We'll have that in the show notes, or send in questions or guest suggestions to listeners@wickedlysmartwomen.com. We might even give you a shout out on the show. And I also want to let you know we have a fun little quiz for you if you would like to find out about your wealth readiness. You can go to quiz.wealthylifementor.com and you will get the score on what your readiness is for creating a wealthy life by design. So please keep tuning in, keep your ears open, and remember, you are a wonderful woman.
Thanks for tuning in, downloading, and listening. Be sure to rate and review Wickedly Smart Women on Apple Podcasts and share with other women who can benefit from today's episode. Wickedly Smart Women is the premier podcast series for informing, activating, and inspiring the leader who carries profound wisdom and knows that now is the time to welcome wealth. We welcome your feedback and guest suggestions and invite you to subscribe to our mailing list to be notified of each new episode at wickedlysmartwomen.com.